Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Good evening, Cavs fans. Welcome to another edition of the Block, the Shot, the Stop, a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network. Tim, happy opening day.
Thank you.
The Guardians got their win today. The Reds did not.
No, but nicely.
Yes, but at least in our hearts, we don't have to suffer two team losses because the Cavs were able to pull out this what felt like a needed to win game in the sense of keeping your momentum, keeping your distance, and closing that magic number. This felt like a game that the Cavs could not let slip away.
You're absolutely right, Skyler. I felt like this was a game where, as you're trying to kind of close this thing out, move forward from the Celtics, you needed a night like tonight. And it's, you're coming off that Portland game that you played really, really well down the stretch to pull that game away. You come home after your lengthy road trip where it didn't go the way you wanted to on the West Coast. It's your first home game in a minute. You have a tough game tomorrow in a back-to-back. Yeah, you had to take advantage of this one. You had to find a way to win this one. And even without Mobley, they still found a way to win. So,
yeah, they were sorely missing Mobley tonight. One of the key points that I had written down was not having Mobley really allowed the Spurs to get 19 offensive rebounds, which, that's a lot. That's a lot of second chance points to
yes, it is.
Give up, especially to a team that is missing a lot of key guys. Obviously, Wemby. They're missing Pop for the remainder of the year.
Fox, yeah.
And just a side note or sidebar, this is the most I've ever heard of players getting blood clots because Dame Lillard is out for the rest of the season with blood clots also.
Yeah. It's starting to look more and more likely we get a Cavs Pacers round 2 if things go as planned.
Don't like that.
It's interesting. It's definitely a unique matchup. But obviously we got weeks for that. It's definitely been, there's really interesting that you mentioned that because I feel like the only thing people are talking about is LeBron versus Stephen A. Smith. And at this point, I wish Stephen A. Smith would just run away and take his loss, but that's never going to happen, obviously. But I thought that, the blood clot thing, I think is a much more important story than, LeBron defends his son and Stephen A. Smith says he won't talk about it. He talks about every chance he gets. I'm talking about it now. That's not my goal per se. But yeah, we're at this point where we feel like we need to really pick more important NBA conversations, like the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers fighting for the 1 seed in the East, the Houston Rockets winning 9 of their last 10 games, and right now at the 2nd seed in the West. There's more important things than that, and no one's talking about the more important things. It's just Stephen A. Smith has to have his, as LeBron put it, Taylor Swift moments.
That was, I like the Pat McAfee show and everything like that, but having LeBron on there was pretty cool.
It was the best show they've ever done.
Yeah, I would agree. Same thing when he went on to New Heights. That was really fun to watch. Also,
that was good. Yeah.
A bunch of Cleveland kids just talking about Cleveland. It was awesome.
Yeah, I don't normally watch their show, but I watched that one and I really liked it. But hey, we're a Cavs podcast and we were talking about tonight's game against the Spurs and I got us off track like I normally do. So I apologize.
No, all's good. We got, like I said, a huge win. It brings our magic number down to 5 to clinch the 1 seed, which, as we've all talked about through the season, the 1 seed is most important to the Cavs than any other team. You're going to face either a Miami. I think Detroit is in the actual playoff picture now, but
dude, they have a home court advantage.
Yeah, they at least have home court advantage. Up to the Eastern Conference Finals if it is Boston, because they're automatically
advanced in the first round.
Do what?
The Pistons might have home court advantage in the first round.
Oh yeah.
They have jumped up that much. They've played that well.
They've been good. They have been very, very good, which is good. I mean, good for the Pistons, good for
Great for
JB
JB.
Bickerstaff.
Yeah.
I'm not in the mindset of, oh, you have to do it in the playoffs. I'm in the mindset of you have to get your heart broken to really build yourself to be ready for the playoffs. And the Pistons are in that hopefuls that will get their heart broken, just like the Cavs were last year and the year before and the year before and the year before.
True. Yeah, I think you're. I mean, it's definitely possible. I think that's one of the beautiful things I've liked about the play-in tournament is that these teams have really had a chance to grow up and play high-stakes games early.
Yes,
I think that's been really, really good for the league. I think that's been really good for these teams who are kind of on that Detroit Pistons, Indiana Pacers level, right? I mean, the Pacers lost in the play-in last year to the Lakers in the play-in championship, and I'm going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's a very good thing to see in the league. And really, if you're the Cavs, you don't think the Pistons would beat the Celtics, but how physical they play defensively, if they can get to like 5 or 6 games against the Celtics before the Celtics come to Cleveland for the Eastern Conference Finals, if all goes the way it's supposed to, you feel pretty good though. You feel like your chances got a little better at least.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the standings right now, I'm not concerned about Boston, not concerned about New York, not concerned about Detroit, not concerned about the Bucks. The Pacers are the only team I'm like, I don't want to see them in the playoffs because they are a quick, athletic, lengthy team, which so are the Cavs, and it's one of those like in Pokemon, dragon is a dragon weakness.
Oh man, I'd come for Cavs talk, stay for Pokemon chat. I love it.
Always.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the only team that I'm like, I would like to avoid the Pacers if at all possible.
I get it. I'm not super worried about the Pacers. I think that they are, like you said, they are a mismatch. But at the end of the day, the better team is going to find a way to win the series, and the better team is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, I'm all right with that, man. I'm not too overwhelmed. But I'll tell you what, I thought this game today was a nice coming out of a shell game for Donovan Mitchell to have him back to his old self, and not just scoring, but his playmaking again was terrific tonight. Had a near triple double,
career high in assists.
Yeah, career high in assists, and shot the ball pretty well. This was kind of like, it feels like maybe he's finally fully recovering from that injury, that groin injury he had. And tonight I thought I know Jared Allen basically took the game over in the second half. Like, oh my God, he was unreal in the second half. But I thought the first half and throughout the game, I thought Mitchell was probably the best player on the floor.
Absolutely. There was I think it was either the second quarter or third quarter where Donovan Mitchell was in every single play on both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to throw out a tweet on our account that, how many Donovan Mitchells are on the floor tonight? Because it just felt like he was everywhere. He was digging out rebounds. He was throwing absolute QB1 lasers.
Yeah, he was.
Two guys. I'm sure the Browns are like, can that guy play quarterback?
Yeah, the Guardians probably wanted to pitch in the bullpen, set up for Class A.
Yep. I mean, he's just like, he was everywhere tonight. 25, 14, and 8. That's like really, really good stat line numbers.
Yeah. There was one rebound in particular he had that really kind of was super impressive where he's going against Bismack Biyombo, and I can't remember the exact moment in the game, so forgive me if you go back and watch the film. But he grabs it one-armed back here and cuffs it in. And it was like, Biyombo's a huge dude. And I know he's not certainly the athlete he used to be by any means, but like, holy shit, that was really impressive. And just kind of getting those moments like that from Mitchell, and then like you said, just like leads a fast break with it. That's the stuff that's really awesome. I thought for him, at this point, the only thing he's just basically solidifying is playing enough games. But I think he's putting his stamp on first team All-NBA. And I thought tonight was a perfect step for that.
Yeah, where does he at in games? Let me look.
He's got to miss probably about 8 more, I think.
65. He hit 65 tonight.
So
I think that's the minimum bar of entry is 65.
Yeah. So you have to play 65 games.
So he's in. He's qualified. Yeah. He's in. He can sit the rest of the season. He's in for any awards, first team All NBA, anything like that, which you love to see. I mean, these guys have played incredibly great all year. You want to see them get these accolades at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, man. Because I mean, Mobley's going to be All NBA, I think for sure. Garland has a case. I don't know if they'll pick him. I don't know if they'll think it's too much Cavs love. But I certainly think that like you can make the argument he should be third team All NBA. I know tonight wasn't a great night, but I do want to. We can get to it now if you want. We can get to Allen. But
we can get to it now.
Yeah. So obviously wasn't very good tonight overall, big picture. But once again, in a close game, when they needed someone to go to, it was Darius Garland.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin and I talked about this the other night after the Portland game. If clutch player of the year is going to be a thing, Darius Garland is the clutch player of the year. The fact that he's not even in the conversation, he's not even in the books for betting on, is terrible. I mean, literally his clutch stats compared to all the guys ahead of him are better. 2 games alone this week, he's been the one to put them away. And games like this is what you get from good players when things aren't going your way and you're really struggling. You're trying to find a way to, make something happen. You win the game. You put it together when it matters most. I mean, I just don't understand at this point. Like, why are we not talking about for this? Like Kevin's spiel on Ty Jerome for 6th man of the year. Yes, 100% needs to be in the conversation. I 1,000% agree with that. No argument from me here. But I also feel like Darius Garland 1,000,000% should be higher or even talked about. And if this is going to be a real award that they're going to give away, that is incredibly dumb. Then Darius Garland should win it.
I mean, I agree. I think a big piece of it is the Cavs, for the most part of the season, are just blowing teams out. So there's not as many opportunities to be in clutch time or clutch moments.
That is fair. It's been a little different since the All-Star break, but
yeah, I think that's probably the bias on it. And a lot of the awards at the end of the year are going to be, what have you done for me lately? And Darius Garland's kind of been on a skid lately. He hasn't really been able to put together full games. He kind of just shows up, thankfully, when you need him in the fourth quarter and being clutch. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how they feel as far as third team All NBA or clutch player of the year. Probably not clutch player of the year, but at least third team All NBA. So, but a guy that I don't know is making a damn good case about it, Jared Allen. Boy, he was needed tonight on both ends of the floor.
So first half only has 2 points. Second half, what he ended up with? So
29.
Holy crap. He was phenomenal, dude. Like did he end up missing a shot in the second half? I don't think he did.
He missed one shot all night.
So yeah, he didn't miss a single shot in the second half. 15 rebounds on top of that, so he had a double-double. Yeah, 10-11 from the floor, 9-11 from the line. Only had 2 turnovers. He was so good, man. And it's just kind of, Jared Allen is almost, I wouldn't say he's the forgotten of the 4 by any means. I would say he's the one that's probably talked about the least. Tonight, he was awesome. He knew it was Bismack Biyombo guarding him, and he took full advantage of it. He knew that he was going to do the Mamukashvili, whatever. One of these days, we'll get his name right. You know who I'm talking. Sandro. Yes, we'll go with Sandro. When he was in the game, took advantage of it. I went out and guarded him on the perimeter at some points in the game. I was like, all right, Jared Allen, doing your Evan Mobley. I see you. No Mobley tonight, so you're filling in. I like it. Protected the rim, didn't really block shots, but still affected shots on guys like Castle and Vassell when they're trying to get into the paint. But his story tonight is offensively, he was just awesome. I mean, they found a way. When they found a way to get the ball to him, Garland and Mitchell did such a good job of feeding him the ball in the post, and he just did everything he possibly could. He had that one where he had that crazy dunk. I mean, he had the dunk where he jumped over. I can't remember what Spurs player, but he caught make a pretty impressive catch, looked like a tight end, and then jumped up and dunked it. And you're like, all right, Jared Allen is gonna have a statement game tonight. We know his.
Go ahead, finish out.
I said we know his goal is to play all 82, and he's on pace to do so. But man, that was awesome tonight.
Yeah, the sequence that I have stuck in my head is Spurs get it into the paint, and he kind of blocks or alters the shot enough, and then kicks the ball out to Mitchell to Garland, and then here comes Mobley as the trailer Allen as the trailer, gets the ball, goes in for a layup and foul, and that kind of is what swung the momentum there a lot in the fourth quarter, I think, is when that sequence was. But yeah, man, just keeping he was so good at finding the matchups that he wanted to exploit on the offensive end, so that he could get those easy jumpers in the paint or dunks, or he was very efficient in who he was choosing to get guarded by.
Hunting is what the kids call it.
Yeah, I was. Well, hunting, yeah, and we've had our fair share of getting hunted, so it's nice to see them doing that to another team. Speaking of hunting, we can move on to DeAndre Hunter, who had a poor shooting night, but he was pretty stout on defense, especially there at the end when he, it's a pretty close game. It's like a 2-point difference. Chris Paul gets the rebound, and DeAndre Hunter strips some of it, fights the ball out, and gets it out to Max Strus, which kind of swings the game back into the Cavs' momentum there in the dwindling seconds. I think it was a minute and 20 seconds left.
When Garland gets the layup, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So just and that's what I love about this team. Even when guys aren't shooting well, they find other ways to, affect a game and just be present in a game. It doesn't ever feel like anybody's mailing it in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's just they always find a way to stay competitive, and they're never out of a game. They might lose a game here and there, yes, but it's very rare that they beat themselves. And that play by Hunter, like you said, that's where the game was won. Was that play right there? They missed the shot, and Chris Paul has the ball, and he strips it out of them. They battle for it while it's on the ground. Again, coming back to what I've been saying for the last 2 weeks, 50-50 balls, take full advantage. And then gets the ball out to Strus, who swings at the Garland, who gets the lay-in. And that's basically the big play of the game. That's just heads-up basketball, man. And I think for him, he just really fits exactly into what this team needs in that case. And that today was just like I said, didn't shoot the ball well, still contributed 14 points. But that right there, that's the play that won the game for the Cavs tonight.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, and it's nice to see that the soft officiating didn't affect him, because he got a flagrant foul called on him for a closeout that wasn't really his fault. Who was it? Not Castle. Oh,
Vassell.
This is terrible. Yes, Vassell. He actually had both technical fouls on him, or flagrant fouls on him. But so he closes out on Vassell, and Vassell kicks his feet out to get the landing zone foul, and they call it a flagrant foul on him. But it's clear as day. I mean, I could tell from sitting on my couch that it's intentionally kicking his legs out to draw this, and so that gets the flagrant foul on him. And it's good to see that didn't rattle him, that didn't get him all hot and bothered and pissed off. And there were a couple other pretty soft fouls. I was waiting for them to call a foul on that final play of the fourth quarter there, where he dug out the rebound from Chris Paul.
Oh yeah. You're right. I thought that was going to happen as well. Thank God it didn't.
And then there was another one where they called the flagrant 2 on Tristan Thompson for just boxing out.
And then he was never seen again the rest of the game.
Well, yeah. But I don't know. It was a very soft officiating night tonight.
Yeah, that's to be expected at times, man. But what can you do? I just like you said, it's a good thing they didn't take the game away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Other contributors real quick. Sam Merrill, another great game. Just been shooting the ball so well. Had a 33% is not great, especially for Sam Merrill, but it's efficient enough. 13 points there. Javonte Green in his short minutes, I thought played really well tonight. 3 and 5. Hit a 3-point shot. He had like 2 or 3 shots that were like kind of rimmed in and rimmed out. So I was like, all right, you can live with those. And of course, Max Strus, awesome tonight. Not just on the floor, but mic'd up, was super fun. So, like you said, Skylar, magic number is now 5. You go into Detroit tomorrow for a chance to make it 4 and get yet another sweep in the season.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance for it to get down to 3 because I think San Antonio plays Boston tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, or no, they play on Saturday. So by the end of the weekend, you could be down to 3.
Yeah.
So you like that? You hopeful. We've taken care of business with the Pistons all year. You hope that you can kind of do it again. You hope you have Evan Mobley back. You hope you have
who sits
Ty Jerome back.
I assume Garland sits tomorrow.
Could. I mean, if you were a baseball manager, you'd probably sit him because you're like, all right, bud, let's sit, recoup. But
second game of a back-to-back, single-digit magic number this late in the year. Yeah, I mean, the core 4, not all of them are playing. Someone's sitting tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be Mitchell, but like you said, it might be now that he qualifies for first team.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he qualifies for postseason awards. Mobley will for sure play tomorrow after sitting out tonight. I'm going to say Darius Garland doesn't play tomorrow. Ty Jerome starts.
It could be. I mean, they didn't start him. I think they had Okoro started the last time that.
That's right. You're right, actually. Yeah.
That Garland was out. So we'll see what the lineup is. I mean, I don't want to sit anybody, but they might just because. All right, it's Detroit. Then you have a Sunday matinee game against the Clippers. Then you have a kind of headline game with the Knicks, and you ideally would like to finish your season right there. Like everything's good. We're locked in. We're locked up. So and maybe Kenny is not worried about magic number. Maybe he's like, hey, we're in. We're top 2 guaranteed. Who cares?
Yeah. Most important, there's a possibility Kate Cunningham's not playing tomorrow.
Oh, well, that changes a lot.
Yeah, he's got a calf injury. I think they said I'm not saying he's not going to play, but there was some conversation he was going to be out till the weekend. So that could really kind of swing your factor. Right now, the line opened up. The Cavs are 9.5-point favorites. So you take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun matchup. You have a chance to get a sweep on the Pistons, who have gotten really good through the year. I mean, we've talked about them quite a bit. Just a fun team, a team that's played really well. So I'm really impressed with what JB Bickerchef has done with that team, and they've got some good veterans in as well. Exciting team. So right now, sitting at the 5 seed, just 2 games behind the Pacers for the 4. God, could you imagine if they got into the 4, the Cavs get the 1 seed, and they play the Pistons in the second round?
That'd be fun.
I
would love that. I would love that so much. And I don't know, just with the way that they play defense, maybe Kenny sits everybody saying, "Hey, we don't want to risk any type of injury just to some hard defense." Yeah, it's always a possibility. You don't really know. He's a wild card. You don't know what Kenny's going to be doing.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. But yeah, if there's no Cade, I mean, then one of those 2 guards is going to go crazy tomorrow.
Probably Mitchell. Mitchell looked really, really good tonight. So
he did.
I anticipate him to carry that over into next game and kind of just right the ship a little bit, with the 4-game losing streak, which I think, I don't want to say has a sour taste in Cavs fans' mouth, but they were winnable games.
They were,
and I think that's the part that leaves the bad taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to find the last time the Pistons played. Okay, the last time they played was against San Antonio on Tuesday, and Dennis Schroeder started at point. So, also, what a nice pickup for them. Yeah, really nice pickup for them. It's a good team, man. So we'll see how it goes.
They are a good team. They're like, I don't know. They might be my two in the East.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, they're pretty fun. So
excited to see how they're like playoff hopeful. Like how do you hope the playoff seeding falls and who our first round, second round Eastern Conference final matchups would be?
First round I want Orlando again. Not that a little bit is I don't dislike Orlando whatsoever. Like I actually really like their team. But I love that the Cavs hate them and they hate the Cavs. And I love that there's some beef still from last year in the playoffs. And I don't think they would be. I know they got a win against Cleveland this year. No one would ever pick them to beat the Cavs in the playoff series because they wouldn't beat the Cavs in the playoff series. I think I would lean the Pistons over the Pacers. I do think the Cavs beat the Pacers, but I think it would be like a 5 or 6 game set where I think that the most they would go against Detroit is 5. I don't think it'd be anything more than that. And then, of course, I wouldn't hate it if someone upset Boston on the way, like the Knicks or somebody. Great. But that's not going to happen. So,
yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, we kind of built the playoffs in our heads in this fact of like, oh well, if New York and Boston are the 2 and 3, they're together, and that'd be great. But New York does not look like they look like paper tigers. They're probably one of the more easier teams to beat in my mind.
They just clinched their playoff spot tonight too. So,
yes, they did.
Hey, before we get out of here, talking about other things going on in the league, and I know we're a Cavs show. Did you see how many points the Pacers scored tonight?
No.
Go look real quick.
Oh my God. Yeah. 162.
Yeah, for every baseball game, they scored a point for. So,
they made 27 threes overtime. Tonight. That's the other thing. This is regulation.
Yeah, they hit 27 threes as a team tonight.
My goodness.
Yeah, saw that before we went live. I was like, oh my God.
They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players and scoring double figures.
Pretty wild. Oh, wrong button. Sorry. Why did I press that? What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, it was a good night for Indiana. But yeah, other than that, I think we get to roll out of here.
Yeah. So with that, we'll end this episode. Thank you guys again for joining us after every game. It's good to be back on our regularly scheduled program. Yeah. No more mornings, no more coffee with Cavs, even though it was a fun title and fun to do. Please go ahead and give us a rating on your podcast app of choice. It really, really helps us a lot. Go ahead and give us a subscription onto YouTube. Likes, comments. We love to interact with fans. We respond to everything. So just, be a part of this Cavs community on this magical season. Shout outs to Blue Wire for giving us this platform and this opportunity to do so. And so with that, have a good evening, everyone.
Go Cavs.